Hello, and if
we come on air every evening, the whole world must listen. As long as we preach this very gospel, Chukwukika Piano must be with us. Therefore, without any further hesitation, we must proceed to offer every prayer to Chukwu Okike Abiyama who resided in heaven. Therefore, as we always commence, not from today, but from of old, our Father who art in heaven, nna anyị nke bi n'eluigwe, ka aha gị dị nsọ, that your name may be hallowed by men, that we may bow at the mention of it, that we may offer every glory unto thee, that we may offer you every adoration and adulation, because there is none like thee. You fight our battles for us. Every blessed day you demonstrate through your kindness and your everlasting mercy that you are our Lord, our God, and our Creator. This evening we offer these your children unto thee all over this very planet that you created. They are listening across the entire 24 time zones on this very planet where they inhabit. They are listening to your gospel this very evening, this gospel of redemption, a gospel of hope, a gospel of restoration, a gospel of renewal, this very gospel of freedom, this very gospel of emancipation as only you ordained. That this very gospel must be preached, that mankind may be set free from the eternal damnation of the creation of the British. My goodness me, I want to remain in the spirit because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year, we have not only atoned for our sins, we have spilled, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, O Lord of hosts, to have mercy upon us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty. because we remain every blessed day. Chukwuabiama, believe we're whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist? You opened your mouth, to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all these we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. I had in Sosine Bigebi. He said,
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, happy Sunday, and the happy Father's Day to all the citizens of United States of Biafra fathers. Once again, happy Father's Day to you all and to we all. Because today is the day they said it's a Father's Day. They said, because we are not there. Our program today, we're going to centralize on the last part, because that's what I do. I use my evidence to prove to someone direct what I'm doing. So this is the last part of talking about Olewunne. Why am I doing this? I want you to also see how Catholic. I wonder why the Catholic is the church they used to pass slavery. Until today. Do you know why they are not talking about what's happening in Biafra land? Because it's among the area that they make the highest money. Bishop never don't want to lose the money he's making from those in the Biafra land. that believe in what? Catholic Church. It's a hard time we start calling Catholic priests and all the bishops and anywhere they are in the world to tell them that Catholic Church has never ended slavery of Africa, precisely Biafrans. The blood that was sacrificed, the blood we lost in the genocidal war is enough for Catholic to carry this Biafran movement at head. But coming now to the program, I want you to know one thing. Let the world hear it clearly from us. You see this Christian country called United States of Biafra that was declared that in 1967-1970, Republic of Biafra is a Christian country in the whole Nigeria. Like the way people in the north know as people of Muslim and some part of Lagos State. But in our own case, we are the real Christians that lives in Nigeria without repeating wars. This Christian country, the genocide of the Biafran war must be talked about through a Catholic priest and all their bishop and all fact, any surrenders Catholic. I wonder that they are not talking about the massacre of the Christians. Rather, those in Nigeria are covering it up. Catholic, I want to ask you, and that is why for over 3 years, I said no to Catholic Church. I remain, but going to church, I said no. Because I couldn't see anything good or what they are preaching there. Why Israel today is defending themselves using gun, GPMG, and all the rest, missile, to defend their life, and they are praying for them to survive. And the Biafran people that lost over 10 million people in Biafran war in general, the Catholic Church in Rome has never opened mouth till today talk about it. Today, we want the world to know that from the year of 1967 to 1970 to November 28, 2024, we have been on a wrong path. But starting from November 29, 2024, we have been on a right track that we are calling the world and all the international community to look at our DPM post about the Christian country that faces genocide in that enclave, in that death sentence called Nigeria. The Catholic organization must be responsible for the loss of life of over 5 million Biafran children that was being died because of what? Hunger, starvation. We want all of you to understand it clearly that all the Catholic Church in the world has always denied their own. Where the Islamic organization supports, equip their own at all times. That is why Turkey is equipping Nigeria today. That is why Nigeria and Iran is doing panky today. And when it comes to organization, in the whole world, there is Islamic organization that controls all of them. You must be a member. And the criteria for you to be a member, that you must buy the Christians, put them on torture, put them in prison, take over their territory, prove that you are the one that has the highest number. That is the criteria to join Islamic organization where Nigeria belong. The world never have Christians organization outrightly overworld. It doesn't exist. You see how we are being divided. We want the world to know that this Biafra we redeclared is the old one. That is why we call it redeclared, which is the normal word to use. We did not just declare a new country. We redeclared the old one. Every countries in the past that redeclared the old one lasted only years, months. They are shield of recognition. Why our own is different? Because of the Anglican, the Anglican bishop, the Catholic bishop, all of them still believe in the code oil that is coming from Biafra land. They believe in our resource. That is why their country are rich today. That is why they're not doing anything. But the time has come. Now we are on the right track for the first time after the Biafra genocidal war. We are on the right track for the first time. We have come back to the war what we refuse to give the world. That is why we ask the world. Now that we have given you what you are looking from us, what is holding you to grant recognition? What is holding you? Many countries in the past that lost their country and redeclare it, they never wasted this time that we are wasting today. The way after their own redeclared, on the eve of their redeclared, they all achieved recognition. After they have redeclared, they all achieved what? Recognition immediately with ours, some 6 months, some 3 months. Why are we going to be this way? Before the world, we realize that we have gotten it right. And as of now that we have gotten it right, what does it take you to grant the recognition that we needed? For us to save the life. For us to save the life. For us to be alive, we must have our own country, like Argentina, Venezuela, Mexico, Ireland. Name all these Christian countries today. They are in charge of their country. That is why they have their life. And they have total secure of their own life. But in our own case, you are shying away from it. You are doing as if we don't exist. You put your face like you never knew that the Biafran people have redeclared their lost country back. That is why we are calling to the world to listen to our DPM, follow her posts. And now that we have given the world a solution, we give America the solution of the ongoing genocide that can never end in that contraction called death sentence called Nigeria. That once you accepted that you are Nigerian, they already passed death sentence on you. For us to turn this death sentence to life living, that is why we redeclared on November 29, 2024, the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, BRGIE, issue a redeclaration of United States of Biafra like every other country in the world. Like when America declares their own. Like when Ethiopia lost their country and redeclare it. Like when Ireland, like when Poland redeclared their own, like when countries in Africa issue declaration and succeed. That is why we said that this Christian country that we have redeclared He is the only solution to end the killing, the massacre, and the injustice that is going on. That is why we are calling on the international community to hear us and hear us well. The Christian genocide is because of we lost the Christian country that need to protect all the Christians. We lost the Christian country, Republic of Biafra, that we protect all the Christians in that contraction called Nigeria, in that death sentence called Nigeria. They are kidnapping 5 years, 3 years, 4 years children that went to school. And the bishops are happy that is happening. Even the present bishop in the right now in Catholic as a church, he never condemned, because those he put in Nigeria is like people like him. They all believe that they need to wipe away the Christians. The only they care is the money that is coming out from every part of Biafra land. That is what they care. They never care more than that. You only value the money. That is why all the bishops and whatever they call themselves will be there. A businessman, a politician is the one fighting for the life of the Christians. And you call yourself bishop. You call yourself bishop that cannot fight for your own people, that Christ you think you are like, fight and give his life for his people. How many bishops has given their life because of the Christian genocide? How many of you have given your life, even not give your life, only raise your voice to Nigerian government, and you only use to support your own Christian country? You refuse. Rather, you want us to come and give you money, because only thing you care for is money. That is why today, one of your so-called Reverend Sister called Reverend Sister Olewunne, that is wearing black in UK, has been used to fight against his own people. He wants us to remain under slave. Olewunne wants us to remain under the slave of his masters. But she refused to understand that this 21st century, that we have understand our mistake and we have corrected the mistake. Upon that, she's misleading herself. And she can only mislead those like her with a tiny mindset of thinking. But those on the critical thinking, those on the multiple dimension, you can never succeed. Anybody who follows what Olewunne is talking today and talk down on our DPM has, from day one, the mindset is not for Biafra government under USB redeclared. These are pure truths that we all must know. These are the things that the world they want us to say. But we are here to tell them. We are here to let them know that we have understand the truth. Olewunne repeating the history of the people of Mexico, people of Venezuela, Colombia, and Argentina, reverend sisters that never want their people to succeed. The history is repeating. our president, Mas Nanekano, once said that we can only achieve Biafra as a country when we look at the history of Somalia, Yemen, and Syria, and all these countries succeed via government in exile. This is how they all become country today. And we are here telling you that USA declared is the only way for us to have Biafra as a country. And if you are doubting it, you are on your own, because the time has come for us to put the record straight, where the world will equally understand that we know the take us to achieve Biafra that we are looking for after our peaceful redeclared. Olewunne, we are calling on you, please. If you know her number, tag her. And the Biafrans, this is Olewunne's handle that we need to bombard her, so let the world knows that she represents evil. Olewunne's handle is DOLUNNE. Olewunne's handle is, I'll make it open, GOLUNNE. That is what you will type. You will get involved to the rubbish she's writing, and put her to dustbin, to the trash where she belongs, with all her propagandists, with all her lies and deceit that she has come out to do, to the gullible that followed, that have the same mindset that she has, like these men at my back of this particular page, or this particular studio. These men that you are seeing here, they are all the same way with Olewunne, sister, the so-called sister Olewunne. These people that we are seeing here are also acting the same thing Olewunne is acting, because birds of the same feather must flock together. Those on the double standard, those that never really believe that Biafra should be a country, that is those we are talking about. Those who want us to remain under slave. Those who think that Biafra can never become a country, like Olewunne. Those who never understand the criteria of being a country. Those who never understand what it takes to have a government and the structure, and how you must allow the government to go in their own way to achieve things. Those who never understand that we are no longer into structure, into organization, rather, we are into a government of a country structure, that we must act as a government in the eyes of the world. So before we go into Olewunne's case fully, anybody who is going to Finland, stop coming to social media and said, what about the Obatobi told me this, Obatobi tell me, Obatobi said this. You are endangering his case more and more. The risk of you claiming you visited him and he told you the other one, it still means that he still remains in prison and commanding the people, controlling. You are endangering his release. You must think this way. I said what? You must think this way. And for us to think this way, we have to be up and doing. The time is no longer time of emotion. It is a time of critical thinking. whatever you have been, whatever you had this time around, take your time to digest it. That is why you must limit the things you watch and those you listen to, for your mindset to be close and be one with you. Before we move, we must go to comment section as we're waiting for more people to join us. Amadi Chigozie, for a very long time, I never see. Hope you are good. What have happened to you? Where have you been? Okay, we have our mommy, Madam Rose, River Goddess. Happy Sunday, Mazuchino. I wish you the best. I have our brother Oliver Ozo. Good evening from here, Mazi. Good evening. I greet you too. Then Shibuz Ede said amen to all our prayer of Master Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you for that. And he also said, hashtag, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. That is standing on the mandate of this platform or the rules that guides this platform. He also said, hashtag, Nigeria must go out of Biafra land. He said, oh, that is it. We have Mommy Stella. He said, hashtag, we are the citizen of Biafran Nation, USB. Happy Father's Day to all Genu Biafrans father. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Then I have David. Even though I know that by now he might be running away from the platform. Good evening, Maz, my brother. I greet you from here. He also said, God bless you, abundantly bless you too. And I see you here, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hashtag free Maz, free MNK. He is Biafran citizen. Yes, he is a Biafran citizen. Ifani Stella said, Mazi, you are really doing awesome. No, not me. Chukwu Okarion is doing awesome for us. For us have the message you need to know at this time. Biafra is here. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let us go into the history of these particular sisters that was against their people movement. I just want to play this audio of Mexico quickly and what happened. Then, before we transition into in general of it. So let us listen to this, my people. Because they have no evidence at hand if the audio we play.
Capuchin nun who became the most famous female figure of the Cristero War, 1926. Massive religious rebellion against a fiercely anti-clerical, secularist post-revolutionary government of Mexico. The connection to international recognition stems from her radical opposition to Mexican presidents Plutarco Elias Calles and Alvaro Obregón. The government was desperately seeking international legitimacy, especially from the United States, through treaties like the Bucareli Treaty, while religious factions viewed the regime as an illegitimate, godless tyranny that shouldn't be recognized or obeyed. 1. The context: the Cristero War. In 1917, Mexico drafted a new constitution containing severe restrictions on the Catholic Church. In 1926, President Calles began strictly enforcing these laws, the Calles Law, banning monastic orders, seizing church property and arresting priests. Madre Conchita's convent was dissolved by the government, forcing her and her fellow sisters into hiding. She became the superior of a clandestine religious house in Mexico City, which quickly morphed into a secret meeting hub for Catholic dissidents, rebels, and radicals. 2. The conspiracies and the radical stance. Madre Conchita was deeply entrenched in the belief that the revolutionary government was a spiritual plague destroying Mexico. In her secret meetings, discussions often turned to tyrannicide, the theological justification for killing a tyrant. She famously interacted with a zealous young Catholic man named José de León Toral. In these circles, it was agreed that for the Catholic Church to survive in Mexico, the leaders of the government, specifically Calles and the newly re-elected Alvaro Obregón, had to be eliminated. 3. The assassination of Alvaro Obregón, 1928. On July 17, 1928, José de León Toral infiltrated a banquet in Mexico City, celebrating President-elect Alvaro Obregón's victory. Pretending to be a caricaturist, Toral sketched Obregón before drawing a pistol and assassinating him. The government immediately cracked down on the underground Catholic network and arrested Madre Conchita, labeling her the intellectual mastermind behind the assassination. They accused her of using occult, hypnotic, and psychological influence over Torral to drive him to pull the trigger. 4. The sensation trial and prison sentence. To show the international community that Mexico was a stable, modern state with a legitimate justice system, the government held a highly publicized jury trial rather than an extrajudicial execution. The trial, the 1928 trial, was a massive media circus, broadcast live on the radio. Madre Conchita steadfastly maintained that while she opposed the government's tyranny, she never directly ordered the murder. The verdict: Torral was sentenced to death by firing squad. Madre Conchita was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Incarceration. She was sent to the notorious Islas Marias penal colony, an isolated island prison. Despite her harsh surroundings, her fame grew. To the state, she was a dangerous terrorist. To millions of Mexican Catholics, she was a living martyr. 5. Later, life and release. In a bizarre twist of fate while in prison, she met and married Carlos Castro Balda, a fellow prisoner jailed for a previous dynamic attempt on Obregon's life. By 1940, political winds in Mexico shifted. The new president, Manuel Avila Camacho, sought to heal the rift between the church and the state. Due to immense public pressure, Madre Conchita's sentence was commuted, and she was released. She spent her remaining decades writing her memoirs, giving interviews, and defending her legacy. She passed away in Mexico City in 1979 at the age of 87.
This is a woman like Olewunne. When our DPM said that she will pay dearly with the constitution. Olewunne, I want you to see the history of Mexico. Exactly what you are doing today is what these women did in Mexico. When Mexico was seeking for international recognition in the United States of America, in the United Kingdom, this woman start what we are doing today. Start attacking the government of Mexico that are seeking for recognition. Start condemning whatever they are doing. Start saying that the president and the cabinet members, they are all liars. They did the one. Exactly what we are doing today. The same thing is the same also the one from Colombia, the one from Argentina and Venezuela. They all did the same thing. And look at their name and the history. So now you have joined them to talk trash. You have joined on this bad history of sisters that was against the poor movement, that was against the leader of that declared Mexico as a country. Every time we are passing through today, I want you to know that such a thing has happened somewhere before. Everything that is happening here today, it has happened somewhere before, Madam Olewunne, and you are happily choose where you belong. It's how to prove that you are never being genuine from day one. You want me to count for you how many countries that use a peaceful sit at home to achieve recognition in the world? You think passing it in the bill is going to be forever. It's for now that we are fighting with the Nigerian government. That is our willing tool in the hands of them. That is our gun. That is our more tanker. That is our bullet. Our peaceful sit at home. When Israel is talking about Biafra referendum, is it not sit at home? Olewunne? I'm asking you. Olewunne, how many countries you know their history when they declared their country in exile? Do you know how many groups there was been the fight against the government that issued the declaration of those countries? Olewunne, how many you know? Olewunne, in this black sisters clothes you are wearing, are you telling me that you and all the sisters in the world, I want you, all of them love you, you don't have an enemy? Where the wars happen today is in the covenant and in the Reverend Father's hood. That is where all the evil that is happening as of the 21st century. Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable John. Honorable, okay, I see you. Good evening from here. Oh, no, we are asking you, which peace are you making with who? Did Jesus Christ assist and make peace? Did Jesus Christ and Judas make peace? Olewunne? We are asking you. Olewunne, we are asking you, did Jesus Christ and the people of Pharisee, or people of Sadducee, or in the Bible, Ananias and their husband, did they make peace with them? Olewunne, Onyamagodoba. You don't know, you want to teach. You don't know and you want to teach. Because you think that when you come like that, you will bring blackmail and emotion. We have sold our emotion. We have rejected any blackmail. Any blackmail coming our DPM, all Biafrans must understand that. It's what they did to the woman that piloted the affair of Algeria. A woman that piloted the affairs of Israel, facing sisters' challenges. A woman that declares Brazil, facing sisters' challenges. Mexico, as we're talking today, Belarus, these are countries, these are the countries that the women take charge of it. They face their fellow women challenges, trying to bring them down, trying to damage their reputation. Do not panic. Hey, our DPM never been said about to. This Finland you have gone to 6 times. Well, are you sure you are still in the covenant or no? That you are not doing anything. In 6 seconds, they will not allow all of you people to sit outside. Then the covenant, if you are still in sisterhood, they will not allow you. And what are you saying? 6 times you going to Finland. And you call yourself a sister that is under covenant. It is a pure lie. It doesn't exist anywhere. Because you know how they protect sisters. You are only to remain in that covenant, in that particular where you are, in UK, or wherever you may be. Okay, but I don't come about saga, but because I will get every fact when you get consequences. Olewunne, what is your work? Do you even have a job at all? You're going to fly, you don't from UK, you don't need flight, you only enter crane. That is how you go. It's by road you can go. And that's road. So in this system, you leave your duty as a reverend sister. Is what they're telling us. Look at you that claim you a reverend sister that is lying in this modern day. Because we want to blackmail our DPM. She is not the first. And she's not going to be the last woman that issued the declaration or the declaration of country in this world. We want everybody to understand this blackmail that it has happened before. You know my own, I believe in history. History is another word of history. History repeating is karma. That is real. Because when karma captured you. Olewunne, please tell us. Is it any of these movements you went to Finland that went to USB ask you, go and deliver this message to us? When you come back, did you give that message to the government? Allow them to handle it. That is a government, not organization. Why today you have joined among those that never want Biafra to be a country? Now that we are seeking recognition, all you can do is to come to rant and gossip, to join, go where we will see you very soon is in Chiamaka Ajere's platform, Madam. I don't know. We'll go to the old food like you. That is where you want to land up. So we're waiting for you. That meeting you are having with them. We have had meeting with all these groups that are attacking USB declared. When Namibia issued declaration, 8 group attack the government that issued the declaration of Namibia, SWAPO. 8 group, I have played all of them here, that was attacking Olewunne. Only one. Olewunne, our question is, you went to Finland, among all that is happening, and you know quite well, Robert Obies said openly, if the people that came to Finland can handle the declaration, they should go on and issue the redeclaration of University of Biafra as a country. But if they cannot, they should go. They should go back. In your own mind, you never know that why Chukwu Okabiama did not allow the Biafra declared according to propose by Mayor Malta, December 2nd. That's why Chukwu Okabiama shifted from there. He said, Biafra is my nation. I am the father of the Biafran people. I am the one who will choose the date. That all the days that people have been hoping, where all the enemies has put their mind to come to attack on December 2nd, that I am not going to allow it to happen to my sons and my daughters. It's going to be, we are going to take them on a way. That is why it happens on November 29. And all of you that are making noise today. Here maybe here Chiamaka Ajere. Here na Biafra was declared on the 29th because people like you who has already planned to break people's head and pour blood on that innocent, on that hall that particular day. Have already seen everything happen, and he said, no, I am never going to allow it to happen. That is why I am the one who know the actual day that Biafra will be declared. And he said, my daughter Ngozi Rabeze, your name is Ngozi, I bless you. Go, step all the serpents, stop on their foot and redeclare Biafra. That is why all the men, Mama Duaba and all of you was there, a woman step up and redeclare Biafra because the message has chosen her that she is the only one that will redeclare on that particular day. All the effort to stop you did not hold ground. For you to know that Chukwu is not a liar, that he Biafra being Mwezioku, after they redeclared on November 29, 2024, December 2nd, Ogenkire execute their plan by inviting police in the hall. Is it not true? I have seen a program here where those that traveled to Finland, they said, we saw policemen. When our DPM was presenting our currency, police was in hall calling her, who knows those police? Is so Ogenkire and the government Chiamaka Ajere. Biafra be him imagine him more emego. Now the him more has happened. You never knew that the ways of God is when for way of human being. That when man proposes, God must dispose it. And you never think about that way. Why is it 29th of November? It is 29th of November because that is the day Chukwu Okabiama, Elohim chose that Biafra should be declared. That is why when we with Obatobius, Simon Banjoko proposed 2nd of December, God disposed and said, no, it is on 29th of November that I am going to mandate this. Anybody that nobody suspected that this person will stood up and redeclare it. And it happens. It happens in your own koro eye. And you could not reason. You could not digest what happened that day. There is a word our DPM said. She never used that word again. When she said that we have mesmerized the enemies and the Nigerian representative in Finland that was hoping on December 2nd. I ask you this question, Olewunne, who called police in Finland that was calling our DPM to stop our presenting the currency? Olewunne, who called the police that is calling her to arrest her, and she remained where she is? And when police people came, Chukwu Okabia put them to understand that everywhere here is peaceful, that the thing has happened. When Oge and them finally found out that who is in the position to read the clear is our DP, what happened? They invited police. Before the police, the deed has been done by Chukwu Okabia. So if any of you who still remain with USB that went to Finland, I want you to know that the reason why we declared it on November 29 was because of what? Because the message has chosen how it's going to be delivered and who will deliver me. Because the message is very pure and white. The message is pure and white. Biafra nation. The lights out of the darkness. The light that removes the darkness. When white appears, you know how it happens. When the day is being break and see the sunshine of the light, you know how it is. Because if God did not dispose that Biafra will not be declared on 2nd of December, believe you me, the blood shed, the blood that we have poured on that, because Chiamaka Ajere has already planned how he's going to has already him, how they are going to break people's head in Finland. And once blood touches when you said you are issuing a peacefully declared and the blood or single physical fight happen, the world will condemn you that is no longer peaceful declaration. So Chiamaka want to remain in his position. All their plan is to do what? To destroy that 2nd of December. Why Abato Obie has said, if you in Finland can handle the pre-declared, go on. If you cannot do it. And for us to pray, we understand what Masnakan taught us and Mas Simon, that the most important thing that triggers our DPM is when Abato Obie said, until we have this document, that is only when we will stop making on social media. Until we achieve this document. Without these documents, all we are doing is noise making. And our DPM, the spirit of Chukwu Okabia entered her. She ruled like a man and she declared it. And the mono vamnanya, or maybe vamnanya. Look at you today. Look like an old fool. Look at you today. Look at the way you are looking, like old food. Look at yourself and look at those you are presenting yourself with. You want Biafrans to understand where we are, why you must support USB declared. That is your country. That is what Chukwu Okabia ordained. When the human being proposed, Chukwu Okabia disposed. Is it not true? When we dispose, Chukwu Okabia did what? Propose for it. Because he is the God of Biafran people. Maybe him more. So, maybe him more eziokwu. You cannot follow it up. So, that is the real truth that has happened. So as we are doing that, hear the history of how a sister in Mexico was being sentenced to life imprisonment because of her action, condemning the government that attacking the government that has seeking recognition by attacking that government when they are only seeking for recognition of Mexico as a country. Look at what the government of Mexico did to such a woman. I want to know that everything that we are happening today, the history must repeat in all ramification.
The historical figure you are thinking of is Concepcion Acevedo de la Llata, widely known in Mexican history as Madre Conchita. She was a Catholic Capuchin nun who became the most famous female figure of the Cristero War, 1926 to 1929, a massive religious rebellion against the fiercely anti-clerical, secularist post-revolutionary government of Mexico. The connection to international recognition stems from her radical opposition to Mexican presidents Plutarco Elias Calles and Alvaro Obregón. The government was desperately seeking international legitimacy, especially from the United States, through treaties like the Bucareli Treaty, while religious factions viewed the regime as an illegitimate, godless tyranny that shouldn't be recognized or obeyed. 1. The context: the Cristero War. In 1917, Mexico drafted a new constitution containing severe restrictions on the Catholic Church. In 1926, President Calles began strictly enforcing these laws, the Calles Law, banning monastic orders, seizing church property and arresting priests. Madre Conchita's convent was dissolved by the government, forcing her and her fellow sisters into hiding. She became the superior of a clandestine religious house in Mexico City, which quickly morphed into a secret meeting hub for Catholic dissidents, rebels, and radicals. 2. The conspiracies and the radical stance. Madre Conchita was deeply entrenched in the belief that the revolutionary government was a spiritual plague destroying Mexico. In her secret meetings, discussions often turned to tyrannicide, the theological justification for killing a tyrant. She famously interacted with a zealous young Catholic man named José de León Toral. In these circles, it was agreed that for the Catholic Church to survive in Mexico, the leaders of the government, specifically Calles and the newly re-elected Alvaro Obregón, had to be eliminated. 3. The assassination of Alvaro Obregón, 1928. On July 17, 1928, José de León Toral infiltrated a banquet in Mexico City, celebrating President-elect Alvaro Obregón's victory. Pretending to be a caricaturist, Toral sketched Obregón before drawing a pistol and assassinating him. The government immediately cracked down on the underground Catholic network and arrested Madre Conchita, labeling her the intellectual mastermind behind the assassination. They accused her of using occult, hypnotic, and psychological influence over Toral to drive him to pull the trigger. 4. The sensation trial and prison sentence. To show the international community that Mexico was a stable, modern state with a legitimate justice system, the government held a highly publicized jury trial rather than an extrajudicial execution. The trial, the 1928 trial, was a massive media circus, broadcast live on the radio. Madre Conchita steadfastly maintained that while she opposed the government's tyranny, she never directly ordered the murder. The verdict: Toral was sentenced to death by firing squad. Madre Conchita was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Incarceration. She was sent to the notorious Islas Marias penal colony, an isolated island prison. Despite her harsh surroundings, her fame grew. To the state, she was a dangerous terrorist. To millions of Mexican Catholics, she was a living martyr. 5. Later, life and release. In a bizarre twist of fate while in prison, she met and married Carlos Castro Balda, a fellow prisoner jailed for a previous dynamic attempt on Obregón's life. By 1940, political winds in Mexico shifted. The new president, Manuel Avila Camacho, sought to heal the rift between the church and the state. Due to immense public pressure, Madre Conchita's sentence was commuted, and she was released. She spent her remaining decades writing her memoirs, giving interviews, and defending her legacy. She passed away in Mexico City in 1979 at the age of 87.
I hope you are listening. Because of what this sister did, Mexico banned the organizations of the Reverend Sisters for some time in Mexico. Today, Olewunne sister, Olewunne, her name has entered in Biafran book, in the archive of Biafra, as the sister who is opposing USB declared. I hope you are getting it clearly. We don't romance word here. I don't do political correctness when I was in my words. I put it the way it is. Because that is how to say it. The truth is always straight and very bitter. Olewunne, I'm doing this program because of you. For this last part of this program. This is after today, your name, I will only be calling you when I want to mention the name of betrayers, or anytime I put the pictures of betrayers, and your picture will enter here very soon. Once we are done with you, we put you where you belong. The history has carried you. You heard it here that this Reverend Sister in Mexico was opposing the words when Mexico is trying to achieve recognition in two countries, United Nations and in the UK and in the US, this lady turn against them, form his own cabal, like what Olewunne is forming today. You think Olewunne is doing this alone? No. There is backup. There is those that she has chosen to do this with. You might see Olewunne landing to go 247 or Chiamaka Ajere. This area when you will see Olewunne will fall very soon. Take it or you leave it. And look at how the government of Mexico dealt with the woman. That is what our DPM said, that you will pay dearly for this nonsense that you are trying to do. Olewunne wants our DPM to be assassinated because they want to push our DPM. So whenever he goes to Finland, so he can do video. I am in Finland. You said I will not come. All of you are too small. Our DPM. You don't have to explain any your way to anyone. You all know explanation to any vagabond and any fools because they want to monitor your way. That is why they use Olewunne to come. Nigeria government has used IPOBDOS, it did not work. They used 5,000 ERAs, it did not work. They used Madam Azoka, Gaddafi, and Livingstone, the living dead, the dead stone, it did not work. They tried, they could not be able to achieve their mission. They said, oh, okay, let us use Ogenkere. When they said Ogenkere cannot be able to do it, they divert Imam Maduabo. You see what is happening in them today? Imam Maduabo, I don't know who, and Chiamaka and all of them. What is happening is the method of Nigeria, divide and rule. So Nigeria continues to divide for those who want to be divided. And remember, this is 21st century. After 18 years, nobody's being deceived anymore. Whatever you are doing is what you want to do. Any life you are living is what you choose for yourself. And there will be a consequence because these women, these sisters, these reverend sisters in Mexico that never won Mexico recognition for them to be free under the Great British. What happened? The sister was fighting against it, against his own people, talking down on the president of the movement of Mexico. And when Mexico achieved recognition, they dealt with her and her followers. The real woman was sentenced by firing squad. The second person who rose up was sentenced to life imprisonment. Later changed to 20 years imprisonment. Later another president came and said, let us allow her. And imagine, the reverend sister married a man in prison. Olewunne. Sister Olewunne. The sister later end up marrying a man in prison. After at age of 87 years, he give up. Olewunne at your old age. I wonder why all these people at old age that I said that God judges human being. Moreover, once you clock 70 years, to once you enter 60 something, God has had judging you. You have moved away from youth exuberance. You never know what you're doing to yourself, all of you that are fighting against USB today. There is no longer youth exuberance. Once you cross that 55, your judgment has started. The way we are judging you today as human beings, that is how it's judging you. The way we are condemning you to Olewunne, that is how God is condemning you. That is how the sisters are condemning you. That is how the sister of Biafra is condemning you, Olewunne. You have raised your ugly head. Satan has entered you, has used you. He went to see Abatobi. I have been there since. What is your work, Olewunne? We know about how tight law that guides the Reverend Sisters is. Even for you to travel to see your family, even sometimes when someone give up his heart, talk less of you all the way time. I've been failing to 6 times. You look at you. A sister of Delilah, a sister of Sapphira and Ananias in the Bible. Sister, Reverend Sister of Judas. That is who you are. All of you will pay. You heard how Mexico sent a woman, a reverend sister, with a firing squad because of her action. Olewunne, you will pay. You must pay. Because this Biafra that we have lost our lovely ones, nobody will use this now that we have gotten it right. I quote and I said, after Biafran War, we lost it in 1970 finally. We have never got it right until even November 28, 2024, we are on the wrong path. Until that morning, November the 29th, 2024, was the only first time ever we are getting it right, my people. And that is why today, why do I say we're getting it right? Evidence of the right that the Biafran map has come back to the world map. Have you never seen that? The plight of Bonnie has turned back to the plight of Biafra. Have you never seen that? It's the way the world is talking about Biafra today. Is that how they were talking about it before? That is why when you're on the right track, things will start happening in the right way. I hope you are connecting the dots. And I hope we are making common sense, my people. The history of Mexico is what we implement on Olewunne and every reverend sister who is against this movement. You had the punishment that Mexico give that reverend sister, which is those who believe in him. Not only her, but there are two. But the main one was sent by firing squad of Morocco. The other one was sent life imprisonment, turned to 20 years imprisonment. And the reverend sister later married in her fellow prison a man who she met in prison. She married inside the prison. And after, when she was released with the husband, they released her, never released the husband in prison. She always married the man in prison and visited the man inside the prison. A sister for that matter. And the devil has started using you. And you think you are right. Why is that everybody who attack USB, once they attack, they will think they are the one who love Master and the Canon, the one who love Simon neighbor. That is how the message is proving. I did not choose you to deliver me. And once the message never choose you to deliver the message, you must deviate. If the message is lacking human being that will deliver the message will be managing you. Until when the message, you find out that the person that will deliver me is here, I must use this person, not you. The message will push you away. You will start. In France. Olewunne, in France, all of you. In a peace. Peace for what? Peace for those who want the life of who buy Biafrans and who want our DPM to be arrested. Olewunne. The reverend sister married in prison because of what? Because she sabotaged the recognition of people of Mexico. And they put her on a long, first lifetime imprisonment. After they turned it to 40 years, which is 20 years imprisonment. And before then, the sister has married in the prison. Simply mean in here the prison. Oh no, do you want a husband? Come and marry. Nobody is stopping you. If you can't do it, the only thing you can do is to get married without wasting time. That's all you can do. Not the rubbish you are doing. But you did this because of Chukwu Okabiama. See, every history in this world must repeat, and we are going to break every history and set a new history. You know, since we are into the movement, we never come to talk about Reverend Sisters. But today we're talking about it. The saboteurs from Reverend Sister, the betrayal from a Reverend Sister. And Biafrans that are gullible in their mind never think. Why is it that whenever they have started misbehaving, the only thing they will do is to attack US already declared? That is the only thing they will do, is to attack what? To attack US already declared. The same thing when this woman in Mexico was attacking the government, those that are seeking for recognition of Mexico. Tag Olewunne, check the history of Mexico. In 1926 to 1929, when Mexico was seeking for recognition, a woman like you stand up. First, the West woman starts castigating the leader of the movement of Mexico, that was seeking for diplomatic recognition of Mexico. She starts condemning the leader with her fellow sisters. And what happens is what we are hearing here today. When they are seeking for recognition, like, you see how the history want to repeat. God put it on a time like this that we are seeking for recognition. So the history we prove that, oh, this woman is a betrayer. Please, I urge you to like and share the program. If you never do so, please hit the like button. Don't be stingy of like, or anytime that you want to watch the video, please like and share. Let's go back to the comment section again. Those are here that I never organized them. So where do I stop? We'll start from Mazi Uche. For he said, hashtag, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. And he complete the mission. Hashtag, Nigeria must go out of Biafra land USBG. That is where we are. Flora Kubilo, good evening from here and happy Sunday. I am a good citizen. Wow. Hashtag, I am a good citizen of United States of Biafra. Hashtag, Nigeria must go. Thank you for that. He said, Mazi, greetings from here. May God empower and increase you in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Thank you for good work you do for Biafrans. Hey, yeah. He said, oh, thank you for that. Thank you, and also bless you. Tinye, this is your name. I don't want this name. They put it in this way. Good evening, brother. It's John. Okay. Good evening from here. Thank you for that. I see you. And we have Comfort. He also said, Mazi, Reverend Sisters, spokespersons in USB, just a question, please. I came in peace. Okay. After when I put the link, you can ask your question. You can come in and ask your question. Hashtag, I am a citizen of the United States of Biafra. Ekwem said, thank you for standing on the protocol first. Mary Ike, happy Father's Day to all Biafrans. Father, more grace to you all for your fatherhood in the name of Chukwu Okabiama. Gozie Onunine Ise. Thank you so much for that. First time I'm seeing your comment, Mary Ike. Ogonna, thank you so much. Hashtag, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. Hashtag, Nigeria must go. Thank you so much. My brother said, right on. We must also you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lorraine said, all these are fighting against our DPM and her cabinet is in Biafra freedom. We regret it. Yes, they must regret it. I have write this before. Biafrans, separation from Nigeria is God's agenda from the current pope. Okay, let's see to that. I see you, Philip. Ofeji or 4G. Good evening from here. Please keep it up, my man. Thank you so much, Mazi. Thank you. He said also, to comfort said 29th, 11, 2024, redeclaration of Biafra must stand forever. No man born of woman can change that, and no woman born of woman can change it. In USB, we move. Thank you. Musa Fube, thank you so much. Thank you. I see you. Chinwe Opala Maz Shino, good evening from here. Good evening from my location too to you, and happy Sunday to you. Also said, all must hail United States of Biafra. For sure. Our You also said, Maz Uche, God bless you all for fighting this noble fight. Really not easy, really not easy. God will protect and strengthen all of us. He say, oh, that is nice one. He say, one love from Shinwe Abala. Thank you so much. Melike say, happy Father's Day to Mazda Nekano and Simon Eba. Yes, so please, we do happy Father's Day. Please like and share the program. So Newunle name has entered Biafran history for a wrong purpose. Oh Lord, may I not be in this shame. Yes, so you are not, my brother. You are not. Comfort said, may God continue to bless our protect DPM for taking the risk in Finland to redeclare our new nation. USB, may our God be praised. He said, oh, thank you for that. Nice one. Many Biafrans were expecting Biafra to come through guns, bullet killing, or destructions of property. God did not choose Biafra freedom to come through this model. God did not. Yes, that is why it must go through peacefully declared. That is why. You are right. That is why it's going this way it's going right now. Look at, except the Nigerian government and all the enemies of Biafrans, the land is under calm. Benke Ken said, hashtag, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. Thank you so much. I'm still here commenting. He also said, my advice to Olewunne, urgently go and apologize to DPM and the US cabinet for what? Honestly, she needs to go and do that. She needs to go. If there, in fact, there is no time for that. No more apology. Olewunne, remember where you are. She should try. She should try and her conscience and have your peace. Okay. Nigeria must free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for sure, whether like it or not. He said, hey, yeah, Obago one chance for now, Obago said, among all these saboteurs, he is the worst. Yes, because of her position and what she claimed. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Might Thunder said, why did the Reverend Sister in Mexico marry inside prison? I think say they know they do like I'm not gonna read that one. Thank you. You are right. Her. See how they destroy her. Yes. Peter said, hello, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My brother is here also. Good evening. Bless you, sir. Bless you too. Bless you. And the comments from here, Peter and Dewo, thank you. Also said, I just share it for us now. Thank you for doing that. I love that thing. I love this word. You share it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Edith said, good evening, everyone. You're welcome, Edith. Yes, I said, good evening, my brother. All hail Biafra. All hail United States of Biafra. That is the number I want to choose. Biafra will stand. Yes, so that is where we are. All hail USBG. Biafrans, the best in Africa. And Amakwanaka. Sister Maureen also said, hashtag, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. Hashtag, Nigeria must leave Biafra land because Biafra has been redeclared. Hashtag, thank you so much. I greet you all and I thank you all for the comment section. Continue commenting. Please, if you never like the program, like and share. Anytime the program hits on your YouTube, once you want to watch, like, because once you like and comment, other people will see the message. Have you shared the program on Facebook, on YouTube, anywhere you can? Please remember to do that. So look at this sister. I will play it right now and go in summary because I want to put the link for Biafran who want to come in to come. So it's very important at this year we are into that we all followed up what is going on, what is happening. So I want you to pay attention. Listen to this audio again. Cut the audio sent to Olewunne. Let she listen. Because she has
The historical figure you are thinking of is Concepcion Acevedo de la Llata, widely known in Mexican history as Madre Conchita. She was a Catholic Capuchin nun who became the most famous female figure of the Cristero War,
Are you hearing
1926 to
it? He
1929,
fight against his
a
own
massive
people.
religious rebellion against the fiercely anti-clerical, secularist post-revolutionary government of Mexico. The connection to international recognition stems from her radical opposition to Mexican presidents Plutarco Elias Calles and Alvaro Obregón. The government was desperately seeking international legitimacy, especially from the United States, through treaties like the Bucareli Treaty, while religious factions viewed the regime as an illegitimate, godless tyranny that shouldn't be recognized or obeyed. 1. The context: the Cristero War. In 1917, Mexico drafted a new constitution containing severe restrictions on the Catholic Church. In
Because of her action.
1926, President Calles
So
began
if
strictly
tomorrow
enforcing these laws.
USB
the
now
Calles
draft
Law,
a constitution
banning monastic
against
orders,
sisters, hope you
seizing
blame the
church
government.
property and arresting priests. Madre Conchita's convent was dissolved by the government, forcing her and her fellow sisters into hiding. She
Are you
became
hearing
the
it?
superior of a clandestine religious house in Mexico City, which quickly morphed into a secret meeting hub for Catholic dissidents, rebels, and radicals. 2. The conspiracies and the radical
You
stand.
had it here.
Madre
She
Conchita
was
was deeply
being
entrenched in the
addressed as
belief that
what?
the
Rebel.
revolutionary government was a spiritual plague destroying Mexico.
Are you hearing
In her
it?
secret meetings, discussions often turned to tyrannicide, the theological justification for killing a tyrant. She famously interacted with a zealous young Catholic man named José de León Toral. In these circles, it was agreed that for the Catholic Church to survive in Mexico, the leaders of the government, specifically Calles and the newly re-elected Alvaro Obregón, had to be eliminated. 3. The assassination of Alvaro Obregón, 1928. On July 17, 1928, José de León Toral infiltrated a banquet in Mexico City, celebrating President-elect Alvaro Obregón's victory. Pretending to be a caricaturist, Toral sketched Obregón before drawing a pistol and assassinating him. The government immediately cracked down on the underground Catholic network and arrested Madre Conchita, labeling her the intellectual mastermind behind the assassination. They accused her of using occult, hypnotic, and psychological influence over Toral to drive him to pull the trigger. 4. The sensation trial and prison sentence. To show the international community that Mexico was a stable, modern state with a legitimate justice system, the government held a highly publicized jury trial rather than an extrajudicial execution. The trial, the 1928 trial, was a massive media circus, broadcast live on the radio. Madre Conchita steadfastly maintained that while she opposed the government's tyranny, she never directly ordered the murder. The verdict: Toral was sentenced to death by firing squad. Madre Conchita was
Listen,
sentenced to
a
20
sister was sentenced to death with what? Firing squad in Morocco. Those who become the opposition against the government of Morocco when Mexico was seeking for recognition. When Mexico was seeking for recognition, the sister becomes the enemy. He starts accusing the leaders. He starts fighting them. He starts insulting them. He starts saying that the government is lying. He's deceiving their people, like Olewunne. A sister was being sentenced by a firing squad, and the second person who rose up supporting her as they acting on behalf of her was sentenced to life imprisonment. After some years, turned to 40 years imprisonment, which is a total of 20 years after that lady married in prison.
years in prison. Incarceration. She was sent to the notorious Islas Marias penal colony, an isolated island prison. Despite her harsh surroundings, her fame grew. To the state, she was a dangerous terrorist. To millions of Mexican Catholics,
Are you
she was
hearing
a
it?
living martyr.
A reverend
5.
sister.
Later, life and release. In a bizarre twist of fate while in prison, she met and married Carlos Castro Balda,
Are you
a
hearing
fellow
it?
prisoner jailed for a previous dynamic attempt on Obregón's life. By 1940,
Please hit the
political
like
winds
button,
in
hit the like
Mexico
button.
shifted. The new president, Manuel Avila Camacho, sought to heal the rift between the church and the state. Due to immense public pressure, Madre Conchita's sentence was commuted, and she was released. She spent her remaining decades writing her memoirs, giving interviews, and defending her legacy. She passed away in Mexico City in 1979 at the age of 87.
I hope you had the story. That is linked there. In case you want to join us, you are free to join us. So now we go on the full of all these countries, how they merge all of them. The same that happened in Mexico, happened in Colombia, happened in Argentina, happened in Venezuela, happened in Ireland. The same thing. Sisters are the problem, not the oppressors anymore. And they become this problem. Immediately their people are seeking for recognition. Immediately their people are doing seeking recognition is when they become this problem to their people. I hope you can understand clearly that Satan, that devil has been using Sister Olewunne. Devil has entered her and start using her. From that day, to stop going to the cabinet members meeting. And our DP already know their style. Once they stop coming to meeting for 2 weeks, I want to know that they all had the message you want to drop them out and disgrace them. The message will drop them out. So let us listen to this. Olewunne, please tag her. She must hear this message. She must hear this message of how a reverend sister, even in Israel, the reverend sisters was a problem also. Things is happening. Listen to this. Listen.
Nations seeking independence or international recognition, movements have often faced opposition not just from secular empires, but from established global religious institutions or sister organizations that viewed a new country as a threat to their existing theological or institutional unity. Historically, before a new territory or country could achieve formal international recognition, established sister churches, colonial religious institutions, or religious authorities often actively opposed the self-determination movement. 1. Ireland. The Catholic hierarchy versus the Republican movement, 1916 to 1921. Before Ireland achieved partial independence and international recognition as the Irish Free State, the institutional Roman Catholic Church, acting as a powerful conservative authority, strongly opposed the radical militant Republican movement for independence. The opposition. While local parish priests often sympathized with the people, the high-level Catholic hierarchy, the sister authority to the political status quo, explicitly condemned the 1916 Easter Rising and subsequent guerrilla warfare against British rule. The action bishops frequently denied the sacraments to Irish Republican fighters, the IRA, and explicitly issued pastorals calling the independence movement a sin against lawful authority. The church feared that a radical, revolutionary break would lead to secularism or social chaos, preferring to work within the existing legal frameworks of the British Empire. 2. Latin American independence movements versus the Vatican, early 19th century. During the early 1800s, as countries like Colombia, Mexico, Venezuela, and Argentina were fighting to break away from Spain to establish new republics, they faced fierce opposition from their own spiritual sister institution, the Papacy in Rome. Colonial Latin American independence conflict filled down pointing triangle. New Republican movements, the Vatican and Spain, PAPACY, sought local sovereignty. Supported Patronato Real, wanted international flags, IDs, issued Etsi Longissimo, demanded administrative spaces, denied recognition to republics. The opposition, through a historical system called the Patronato Real, royal patronage, the Vatican and the Spanish crown operated as structural partners. The Pope explicitly backed Spain's right to rule over the Americas. The action. In 1816, Pope Pius VII issued the papal encyclical Etsi Longissimo, directly commanding the Catholic clergy and citizens in Latin America to submit completely to the Spanish king and cease their rebellions. For decades, the Vatican refused to recognize the diplomatic legations or the independent administrative space of the new South American states, delaying their full integration into international diplomacy. 3. The American Revolution. The Anglican Church versus the Patriots, 1775 to 1783. Before the United States achieved British and international recognition via the Treaty of Paris, the movement faced severe internal opposition from its dominant colonial religious institution, the Church of England, Anglicanism. The opposition, the Anglican Church in the colonies, was structurally bound to the British Crown. Ministers had taken explicit oaths of loyalty to King George III as the supreme governor of both church and state. The action loyalists within the church viewed the independence movement as a violation of biblical mandates regarding submission to government. Anglican leaders actively preached against the rebellion, causing deep splits. When the United States finally secured recognition, this sister church structure completely collapsed locally and had to reorganize itself into an entirely new entity separate from England, the Episcopal Church, to adapt to the new national reality. Summary of institutional resistance: emerging territory/movement, opposing religious authority, primary reason for resistance, early Latin American republics, the Vatican, Rome, alliance with the Spanish crown, Patronato Real, fear of republican revolutions, early Irish Republic, PRE 1922, Catholic hierarchy/bishops, fear of social radicalism, insistence on working within existing imperial laws, early United States, PRE 1783, Church of England, Anglican, direct theological and political oaths of allegiance, tying the church to the British monarch.
I hope you have had it all. But the question is, why always Catholic movement support oppressor? Why are Catholic movement always on the side of those who are operating someone, supporting them? Imagine that the Catholic priest and the Catholic hood in United Kingdom is supporting Spain when Mexico, they are trying to exit out from their colonial power. And they had it here that the sisters was very able to carry out, bow down. That is why they was against their country that are trying to seek out recognition for their own people to have their freedom they are having today and have their own country that are not under colonial rule. In Ireland, sisters have been the problem. In Israel, sisters are the problem. Mexico, sisters are the problem. Colombia, sisters are the problem. They said that this is not about the empire or the colonial power, that the problem, the oppressor become the sisterhood, like Olewunne them. Please, if you never like the program, I urge you to hit like button, because the more you like the program, those who want to watch the program later can be able to do what? Also join us and see the program. That is why I urge you to do what? Like and share the program if you never do so. Don't be stingy of like and sharing the program. That is how you are supporting us. This page is not monetized. We only ask you to do what? To support the page by like and share and comment. Please endeavor to like and share. It's very important, because you are making, like I said, once you are sharing a program, you are giving YouTube power to do what? You are forcing them to forward the message to many people to understand, to see the message. That is why I keep on asking you to share and like the message. Like I said, if you want to join us on the link, that is the link there. I have posted the link so you can join us and contribute and send your message to Sister Olewunne with the message that we are passing today. So let she understand that we did not send her message. That whatever she's saying that she's doing is not for the New Biafran people. That this that she's presenting here today has happened somewhere in the world before. That she is not the first to start it. That is why it's very important that you like and share the program so others will join us. Those who will see later, we have something to do also. Once they like, the message will be going. Please. Please. listen once again to the audio, then we will analyze the Mexico, the Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela. We have analyzed Ireland in the morning on our morning program / evening. So the afternoon / evening, yes.
When looking at the history of nations seeking independence or international recognition, movements have often faced opposition not just from secular empires, but from established global religious institutions or sister organizations that viewed a new country as a threat to their existing theological or institutional unity. Historically, before a new territory or country could achieve formal international recognition, established sister churches, colonial religious institutions, or religious authorities often actively opposed the self-determination movement. 1. Ireland. The Catholic hierarchy versus the Republican movement, 1916 to 1921. Before Ireland achieved partial independence and international recognition as the Irish Free State, the institutional Roman Catholic Church, acting as a powerful conservative authority, strongly opposed the radical militant Republican movement for independence. The opposition. While local parish priests often sympathized with the people, the high-level Catholic hierarchy, the sister authority to the political status quo, explicitly condemned the 1916 Easter Rising and subsequent guerrilla warfare against British rule. The action bishops frequently denied the sacraments to Irish Republican fighters, the IRA, and explicitly issued pastorals calling the independence movement a sin against lawful authority. The church feared that a radical, revolutionary break would lead to secularism or social chaos, preferring to work within the existing legal frameworks of the British Empire. 2. Latin American independence movements versus the Vatican, early 19th century. During the early 1800s, as countries like Colombia, Mexico, Venezuela, and Argentina were fighting to break away from Spain to establish new republics, they faced fierce opposition from their own spiritual sister institution, the Papacy in Rome. Colonial Latin American independence conflict filled down pointing triangle. New Republican movements, the Vatican and Spain, PAPACY, sought local sovereignty. Supported Patronato Real, wanted international flags, IDs, issued Etsi Longissimo, demanded administrative spaces, denied recognition to republics. The opposition, through a historical system called the Patronato Real, royal patronage, the Vatican and the Spanish crown operated as structural partners. The Pope explicitly backed Spain's right to rule over the Americas. The action. In 1816, Pope Pius VII issued the papal encyclical Etsi Longissimo, directly commanding the Catholic clergy and citizens in Latin America to submit completely to the Spanish king and cease their rebellions. For decades, the Vatican refused to recognize the diplomatic legations.
Yes, before we proceed, you have a rather easy way, please. You can open your mic and talk to Biafrans and send message to Sister Olewunne. You can have the mic before we continue.
Good evening, my fellow Biafrans.
Yes,
the real researcher of USB, the only one on Mazi Shino. I greet you.
I greet
the Biafrans. I greet Biafrans. Ndeku gidigba like mwa. Maka ya gidigba. Okwu anyị eto ogologo bụ na ịma na ndị Igbo si na ọ na-abụ ihe kwuru ihe akwụdebe ya. Oge eji uwe mwụda edeceive anyị agago. Not in this era. Ka ọ ya ba before ka ọ na-awa ifu ndị yi uwe mwụda anyị echere ha na Chukwu na-eri nri n'ofu efere. Mana now anyị amatago na ihe a bụ ihe eji wee deceive anyị. So my message, first of all, before no message, I'm ekele godi our amiable president, Maazị Nnamdi Okwuchukwu Kanu, the one and only Agune Chemba Ohamadike of Biafra land. Onye nke mere anyị okugu isi anyị were mata lekwa esi mebe apụ wee na-ekele mma ejiri gbuo agụ ọbata obie Maazị Simon Ekpa. Ana m ekele gị ebe ọbụla ị nọ ị ga na-anụ onu anyị wee na-ekelezi the lioness agụ nwanyị onye nke jiri azụ wee gbara sịkwa this mantle na ya ga-hold this mandate till the end, and anyị na-afụkwana ya n'anya. I greet you all. Wee na-ekele gị Maazị Chino, because na ịma na asị na ihe kwuru ihe akwụdebi ya. Your platform was produced when USB needed it most. Platform ga-abụ platform ebe a na-abịa akụ asịrị maọbụ ka akọnyere m ijie ya were build ya platform. Platform gị na-eme gịnị na-akụ hama n'isi ntu. So I greet you, jisie ike. Ana m eto unu ikwu, ana m eto unu, ọ dịrị izi. Then my message wee bụrụ gịnị, we Biafrans, anyị amaghị anya arụrụ arụ mara nke elere ele. Wee na-asị na efu ihe ọbụla mmadụ ga-apụta na wee na-akụrụ anyị ejikwa wee gba nnụnụ n'efe, onye a na-akụda chipabu aja. Maka na iwọchi ya mgbe this so-called kpọrọ onwe ya sister pụtara ebe ịkọ ihe na-agba ka moto, people warned her because na onye ọbụla amago eziokwu a na-agba ngọ, eziokwu a na-agba ngọ. Ịma na ọ bụ onye bupụta onwe ya afụ ya. Oke ka o bupụtara onwe ya na watchizi ihe mere yesterday na fundraising. Oge our DPM tụnyere anyị obere azụ, what happened? Ọkwa onye ọbụla afụ ka okwu asịrị kwụrụ ọtọ dịka sịga. Onwe ebe ọ gbagọrọ agbagọ.
No.
Ị mara na onye ọbụla na-ekwu eziokwu ịkpọta ya by 12 midnight, kpọta ya by 2 AM, eziokwu a ka ọ gara agwa gị. And ebe a ka anyị nwa bụ ụmụ Biafra akwụkwọ wee na-asị gịnị na mmaga, because like as you are researching wee mara na this history na bụ ihe all these things ga-eme kọsha when Biafra came ọkwụrụ gidigba. And that is why our DPM sịra this is the best country in the world, because I dey build you again with the truth and honesty.
Exactly.
And we have any two ways about it, because these same lies and propaganda we hear eji confuse so many people. Apụta sị na ọbata OBS, ọbata OBS. Ọ bụ na m abahọ na nke akpọrọ m ụbọchị a na ọbata OBS na-abịa ikwu okwu. Ọkwa mpụta na-asị ọbata OBS bịara na platform dị etu a, not knowing all these things are lies. This is the same thing Ugo 247 ji wee pụta sị na ọbata OBS na ya afọ ya korokoro with his two naked eye. At the end of the day, ọ bụrụ gịnị? Lie. So my fellow Biafrans, what I'm saying bụ gịnị? Anyị amaghị anya elere ele mara nke arụrụ arụ. So na ihe a Sister Olewunne pụtara ebe ịkọ ọmago no dead on arrival, and the mmụọ ga-adịkwara ya na-abụ na ịmụrụ o ji aka ya wee na-elu onwe ya bụ gịnị? Nọọsụ na yes na ọbata OBS kwadoro Dr. Ngozi Orobeze to redeclare Biafra. O kwuru ya. So all these things a na-akọzi na ihe anyị ma bụ na gịnị anyị kwụ na USB. So the best way for her now, onye ọbụla mma ya ni etu ọ na-achọ peace, ebe onye bidogoro peace ya na-abụ na gịnị na USB na ka anyị were fụ yes na truly na ọ chọrọ peace ya, mana ọ na-eme peace ya na o cheki na ndị ọ na-eme peace ya with ọ bụ ndị jiri akwa wee gudoro anyị ga-anwụsị anyị ndị na-asọpọtụ, because ọ bụ ọsọ Dr. Ngozi Orobeze ka no ka anyị cha ha wee na-asọpọtụ USB na anyị ga-anwụsịsị. Ọ bụ ndị a ka anyị na ha ji eme peace ya nwa. So you find out that ihe ọ pụtara ibe bụ gịnị? Propaganda dead on arrival. So I am urging all Biafrans like mụnwa ihe a na onwe ihe ga-agwa m today na ka m ga-amaghị nke bụ eziokwu dị, because before ị na-ekwu one mụ agbakọgo mara ebe ị na-aga. So the truth of the matter bụ gịnị? Onye ọbụla chọrọ ịmụ eziokwu ga-amụ eziokwu, And because that Asana each hide something for a black man, give it to you in writing, and that is what is happening to us. Say so. And that is why, since he putra, when educate anyone, he watch for that some people says he had a lot of go back, and they talk a sense I guess when a lot. So I'm say, Katuko Kika Biama, Bagume, then you could more wisdom. He get you any this research. Because the more you naga, the deep things they ahead. Now this is because this is the last miracle on earth. We did not understand what he meant by that time. Now that I'm seeing that miracle, okay, look at the Kalu na Kuje prison waiting in oru Kahano for 6 months. Okay, after Kahano 6 months, or continue with them Ka Ana Gazi. At the end of the day, Mazi a problem. Since 2021, go today, they cannot give account of one single thing have propagated against that in Njabungwero. Now, as no okay, can also take the mantle at hog. Each go they are not there for that freedom. They are there for their own welfare.
Yes, so
Markana, like Dr. Ngozi Orabeze always say that government. Now, today, government must move on.
but government is a barrack now.
Yes.
Where soldiers come and go, barrack remain.
Yes, because you watch here now, all these 4 back now, they are not proper. They are not doing anything again because again, they want structure. Where is their prime minister now? Okay, where is him now? Or perhaps no have men on ground. Where are their men on ground today? So what I'm saying is this, Bogene, let us be focused. Sister Olewunne, the best way for you now, touch it, na touch aga. So that the best way mmadụ ga-agwa gị na forget go ihe unu na-eyisi n'ọbụ na unu na-afụchukwu anya. Ihe abụ ihe unu ji deceive people. The era has gone. We are in a new era now. The best way give him a you talk. Imakwetu ahisi wee rigoro isi etu a wee rida. Na ọ bụ ma iji aka iji na.
You talk no you onwe ya for now. Yes. There is no second chance so.
Yeah. You talk no me ya we put a constitute nuisance again na social media. Because boss ya bụ onye pugoro na cabinet kwairi onwe Igbo lakpuo. Onwe ndị pụtara na cabinet a na-amahụ na ha pụtara self no iri onwe ha. Ị na-agọta? So mana ọ bụla pụtara anyị afụkwa ya and anyị ekwechirigo na anyị ekwechirigo. So after one of our brother nọ na studio ka anyị tụrụ ya fa anyị ka nọ hikwa here. Okwu batakwa anyị n'ime anyị abịakwa nye gene nyekwa nkuzi. Daalụ my brother.
Thank you so much. Mazi Donatus, I can see you. You are welcome to the program. Please, hey, network has kicked him out. Okay, you come back again. Network has kicked him out. He will come back.
Yes.
So, my friend, when you listen to happen, even look at the American Revolution, the Anglican Church versus the movement of America. That's okay. Our brother is back. Network will permit him. Okay, Mazi, Donatus, please have the mic. You can go on. For network will kick you out again.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. Mr. Chino. I'm greeting. I'm coming from speaking from the homeland.
Yes.
So I appreciate. I've been following you, and I appreciate your effort. Is all of you are working remotely, and that's nothing like good. There's nothing good as putting hairs together where you're supposed to put your hairs, knowing that no that's a leader. What you people are doing now are very, very, I'm grateful. And I appreciate you because you people are putting hands together to see that things work perfectly and that we are going to have a genuine country called a nation like Biafra, a nation that would, there will be no all these corruptions. We will be corruption free. And I appreciate all of you for putting hands together. And as well, making sure that in absence of Mazin and the Kano and Simon Ekpa in the platform, that things are not going to be rotten. We are not going to down to the tune of all those manipulators and agents of darkness. That was making sure that all of us are going to stand and work for the interest of common of the interest of the success of common Biafra. So Lord, God will bless all of you immensely in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So
Say,
what I'm saying here concerning our sister, because it's our sister, and nobody can take that away from her. It's our beloved sister, irrespective of who you need yourself to become a vessel unto. So I want you to convey my message to her. I appreciate the work you have done in the past and how he showed interest to see that is interested in the coming of Biafra. But you should know one thing. You should remember Miriam. You should remember Miriam. Nobody that works against the God's mandate that goes scot-free. Miriam was once a supporter, and Miriam was a prophet. He was a prophetess. But in that, he challenged the authority, and leprosy was kindled upon her. That's in the first Exodus. And this, we're in the second Exodus. Everybody must tread with caution, irrespective of whom you call yourself. You call yourself a present prophetess in the position of Miriam. You wear a robe like Miriam and a prophetess because as a sister is representing a prophetess in this our physical realm. So he should tread with caution and make sure he did not go against the authority that God has put in place to see that the coming of Biafra is a success. When Moses was doing his best with Joshua and Caleb, trying to see that the exist of the children of Israel from the hands of the enemy become successful, when they crossed the Red Sea, they celebrated with Miriam. And Miriam
network. Let's see, no kick her out. Kick him out. Network from Bongolism. That is what
was very, very, how do I put it? Miriam was a kind of trying to show that is something, is somebody refusing to subject herself under the authority of Moses because Moses was the younger. But God was angry with Miriam because he said that I too am a prophetess. It's not only Moses that is a prophet, that I am also a prophetess. God did not take it lightly with Miriam because he's a prophetess. God kindled leprosy upon her instantly because he's going against a suited authority by God. Authority and organization that have been executed to facilitate the total and perfect freedom of the children of Israel from the hand of the enemy to their own independent land. And here we are in this second Exodus. God has ordained Simon Ekpa, Mazin and Simon Ekpa, and that's what I'm busy because he's representing our Prime Minister now. So she should tread with caution so that he will not cure the wrath of God upon her. She should focus. If she will not be under an instituted authority, he should give away and keep his mouth shut in order to avoid another leprosy upon herself. That's all I want to tell her because it's our sister. She should comport herself very well to avoid the wrath of God being kindled upon him because it is God that called the shot. God has called the freedom of Biafra and he has ordained it that Biafra must be free.
Just wait for her. Let's wait for him.
Sorry. Will entertain God's judgment. That's what I want to tell her. He should keep his grammar short, never to dance in the tunes of the enemy, following
Just wait for him. His network of Bongoism. Let's see if he can come back. Okay.
All right. Am I coming up now?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is a wonderful one, because when you think that you are a sister, you know it all. No, it's not in that way. This is fact. Everybody must know why God called you. And if the message never called you and you are forcing yourself to the message will drop you. Once you are forcing yourself to the message will just say, I don't want you, stay on your lane. Why stay on my lane? We are not insulting anybody, but we are repeating, look at it today. Without Madam Olewunne, Sister Olewunne on her action, I never knew that a country like Iceland, that the sisters are the problem. I never knew that a country like Mexico, that sisters are the problem. So they say that they sent sister to the death with a firing squad, and the second in command of her remained in prison. And because of that reason, Mexico banished sisters movement for some time before later allow it back. Look at Colombia, look at Argentina, and look at Venezuela. These are countries that the women, the problem is that when this leader declare this country seeking for recognition, that is not their problem. Look at the give of where we are. That this is what our sister has to do ourselves at this point. But like I said, every history must repeat, and we are going to break all the histories and set new one. Like I said in the afternoon/evening of my program, I was sleeping and I was being told, they said, do you know why Biafra did not declare on December 2nd? I said no. The Spirit said it was done because of what? That we human beings propose and God dispose it. That Biafra is a miracle from God. And it's only God who knows the day that miracle will happen. Because none of us believe in this world that Biafra will be declared November 29. We all focus on December 2nd. And the man, Chukwu Okabiama, said, no, I am the maker, I am the owner, I decide this country, and I allow all of you to suffer. Like when Israel, the journey of 40 days becomes a journey of 40 years. And after that done, a woman was the one that today we are hearing a country called Israel. A woman who issued the Declaration of Israel, 1966, May 14. A woman, finally. So when you look at what they said, that God, because of that, Chukwu have seen that men propose, and that particular men propose, that there is many things that could have happened to never allow Biafra to become a country again. And God says, no, this is my mission. I will shock all of them. I will change the date. I will change the time. I will change the month. And Chukwu Okabiama changes the month and the time and the date, hoping on 2nd of December. Here we are. That is why they said, in that they said, that man has proposed, God disposed. That whatever God proposed, no man can dispose. That will happen on that day. God proposed on what? On 29th of November. That is why the enemy so Genkere, who Chukwu Okabiama also make us understand that they have planned evil. That is why on that December 2nd, when our DPM was presenting Biafra Gemma, police was in that hall calling her to stop what she's doing. So, and that is day of she was doing that, presenting our currency. On the day of the declaration, to prove that Chukwu Okabiama disposes and propose on that 29th, there was no police. All the enemies was like, is it going to happen? Or is it going to happen? It happens because Chukwu Okabiama said, this is the miracle from me, not from any human. That is why God disposes the December 2nd and propose November 29th to us. People have never think this way before, and I never think like this before until this early morning I was sleeping and I was being tapped and said, listen, my son, all of you should focus on what you are doing. That Biafra was redeclared 29 because of God disposed, because of if it happened on December 2nd, there will be blood. And any peaceful movement that shares the blood is no longer peaceful. If we fight in Finland that day and the police arrest our DP, arrest many of them in the world, it's no longer a peaceful movement. Once make it a peaceful, that from the beginning to the end, there was no police, there was no chaos. That is why it become peaceful. So the world and Chukwuka has said Biafra will be declared by 29th of November. By the one I choose, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, not by another person. That's how this dream and what I was listening to in my dream ends. I wake up, it becomes around 9 a.m. in the morning. I said, wow. I said, wow. And when I sit down to think the movement, that is where we are on the world, and that dream that God disposed what man proposed, and God proposed, no man can dispose. That is why all of them was there. A woman stood up on the pulpit and redeclared Biafra. Give order to lower Nigeria flag and raised Biafran flag. People did not understand what really happened. And I say maybe him more amazing. Refuse to understand it, not him more. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So, as I was saying, he should stay on his lane and play his card well, because God is still on the throne. And he's the one that called the shot of Biafra, called the shot to Biafra to be. Mazin Nandekan said it doesn't matter what any man can do, you cannot stop the coming of Biafra. It is God's last miracle on the earth. So as Simon Ekpa said the same thing. So I want her to convey my message to her to focus on his ministry. If he's not called for this assignment, he should focus on her ministry, because every man is called and plays his own ministry. If he's not called for this freedom, he should focus on her ministry to avoid leprosy coming on her as it happened to Miriam. That's all I want to say, and that's where I drop my message here. So God will bless all of you, and God will guide all of you. God will protect all of you. Nothing will happen to you. Enemy will never have upper hand over you and over us. We must succeed. We must cross the Red Sea, and we must enter the promised land of Biafra in Jesus' name.
Amen. Iseo, thank you so much. Mazi, thank you. Thank you. We proceed. So, in summary, a country like people of Mexico, Venezuela, Argentina, Colombia. Sister Olewunne, please check the history. We have checked the history of how a reverend sister becomes a problem. Start consuming nuisance in social media. Start attacking the government that declares Colombia as a country. The person, they start insulting the leader. Check the history of Venezuela. Check Colombia and ask yourself, today the history has carried you as one of those that are against their people's movement. That is where we are. So let us listen to the history again. One minute. 1 minute. Because it's not by a male mortar in this Biafra movement. When Mazakan said it's a last miracle, it's not a miracle that will happen by human being. It's a miracle that will happen through the hands of Chukwuka Abiyama. That is why Skokabia must choose who will declare Biafra for us. And who did that is a woman. And you know how God loves women so much. That is one thing that I want you to understand. At this time and point that we are into, it's not about how you feel.
1916 to 1921.
Listen.
Before Ireland achieved partial independence and international recognition as the Irish Free State, the institutional Roman Catholic Church, acting as a powerful conservative authority, strongly opposed the radical militant Republican movement for independence. The opposition. While local parish priests often sympathized with the people, the high-level Catholic hierarchy, the sister authority to the political status quo, explicitly condemned the 1916 Easter Rising and subsequent...
And yet the sisters condemn the movement that achieved Ireland as a country, the Reverend Sisters and the Bishop. They are the one that condemn it. They are the one talk down on those that are promoting the movement, like what our sister Olewunne is doing today.
Guerrilla warfare against British rule. The action bishops frequently denied the sacraments to Irish Republican fighters, the IRA, and explicitly issued pastorals calling the independence movement a sin against lawful authority. The church feared that a radical revolutionary break would lead to secularism or social chaos, preferring to work within the existing legal frameworks of the British Empire. 2. Latin American independence movements versus the Vatican, early 19th century. During the early 1800s, as countries like Colombia, Mexico, Venezuela, and Argentina were fighting to break away from Spain to establish new republics, they faced fierce opposition from their own spiritual sister institution, the Papacy in Rome. Colonial Latin American triangle. Fill down pointing triangle.
Their first word, opposition from their spiritual sisters. Agudo, are you hearing that? Sisters in Ireland was against the movement of Ireland. They insulted those that are part of the movement for Irish to achieve recognition. A sister, sisters in Ireland. And today, Ireland is a big country today. Sisters are the one becomes a problems of their own people, propagating lies and deceit to the people. Insulting the authority. When you tell that authority is lying, all those is not an insult.
New Republican movements, the Vatican and Spain, PAPACY, sought local sovereignty, supported Patronato Real, wanted international flags, IDs, issued Etsi Longissimo, demanded administrative spaces, denied recognition to republics.
Are you hearing it?
The opposition, through a historical system called the Patronato Real Royal Patronage, the Vatican and the Spanish Crown operated as structural partners. The Pope explicitly backed Spain's right to rule over the Americas. The action. In 1816, Pope Pius VII issued the papal encyclical Etsi Longissimo, directly commanding the Catholic clergy and citizens in Latin America to submit completely to the Spanish king and cease their rebellions.
Are you hearing it?
For decades, the Vatican refused to recognize the diplomatic legations or the independent administrative space of the new South American states, delaying their full integration into international diplomacy. 3. The American Revolution. The Anglican Church versus the Patriots, 1775 to 1783. Before the United States achieved British and international recognition via the Treaty of Paris, the movement faced severe internal opposition from its dominant colonial religious institution, the Church of England, Anglicanism. The opposition, the Anglican Church in the colonies, was structurally bound to the British Crown. Ministers had taken explicit oaths of loyalty to King George III as the supreme governor of both church and state. The action loyalists within the church viewed the independence movement as a violation of biblical mandates regarding submission to government. Anglican leaders actively preached against the rebellion, causing deep splits. When the United States finally secured recognition, this sister church structure completely collapsed locally and had to reorganize itself into an entirely new entity separate from England, the Episcopal Church, to adapt to the new national reality. Summary of institutional resistance, emerging territory/movement, opposing religious authority, primary reason for resistance, early Latin American republics, the Vatican, Rome, alliance with the Spanish Crown, Patronato Real, fear of republican revolutions. Early Irish Republic, PRE 1922. Catholic hierarchy/bishops. Fear of social radicalism. Insistence on working within existing imperial laws. Early United States. PRE 1783. Church of England, Anglican. Direct theological and political oaths of allegiance, tying the church to the British monarch.
I hope you listen to this. Sister Olewunne, the earlier you remove your mouth on these things that you are saying, the better for you. The earlier you stop, the better for you. You can see how history is. So the history must repeat. The question is it this bad history? Is it going to repeat on my own side? Is the question why you must be watchful of things you do and things you propagate at this time they were into. You must look at things you say, things you do, things you listen to. Even in America also, the sisters turn against United States. In America, America is Anglican bishops, Anglican clergies, and their sisters. But in all this side of Ireland, Reverend sisters from Catholic Church. Mexico, Reverend sisters from Catholic Church. Colombia, Reverend sisters from Catholic Church. Venezuela, Reverend sisters from Catholic Church. Argentina, Reverend sisters from Catholic Church. They are, look at, we have gathered up to 5 or 6 countries that sisters has become rebel, as sisters start insulting, condemning the leaders that issue the declaration that are seeking for recognition. How do you feel? He says we should not talk about it. We want her to see the history she's repeating and why she must stop. That is an important area. I will end the program by playing the punishment. That's how Mexico treated such ladies. That is what I'm going to play. After that, if you want to enter, you have now to enter through the link and make your own contribution. Olewunne, this message is for you. Run for the wrath of Chukwu Abiyama, who has mandated that Biafra should be a country, that Biafra should be declared by a woman, not by a man. Listen to the history of Mexico, Olewunne. Please cut and send to her, if you can do that.
The historical figure you are thinking of is Concepcion Acevedo de la Llata, widely known in Mexican history as Madre Conchita. She was a Catholic Capuchin nun who became the most famous female figure of the Cristero War, 1926 to 1929, a massive religious rebellion against the fiercely anti-clerical, secularist post-revolutionary government of Mexico. The connection to international recognition stems from her radical opposition to Mexican presidents Plutarco Elias Calles and Alvaro Obregón. The government was desperately seeking international legitimacy, especially from the United States, through treaties like the Bucareli Treaty, while religious factions viewed the regime as an illegitimate, godless tyranny that shouldn't be recognized or obeyed. 1. The context: the Cristero War. In 1917, Mexico drafted a new constitution containing severe restrictions on the Catholic Church. In 1926, President Calles began strictly enforcing these laws, the Calles Law, banning monastic orders, seizing church property and arresting priests. Madre Conchita's convent was dissolved by the government, forcing her and her fellow sisters into hiding. She became the superior of a clandestine religious house in Mexico City, which quickly morphed into a secret meeting hub for Catholic dissidents, rebels, and radicals. 2. The conspiracies and the radical stance. Madre Conchita was deeply entrenched in the belief that the revolutionary government was a spiritual plague destroying Mexico. In her secret meetings, discussions often turned to tyrannicide, the theological justification for killing a tyrant. She famously interacted with a zealous young Catholic man named José de León Toral. In these circles, it was agreed that for the Catholic Church to survive in Mexico, the leaders of the government, specifically Corles and the newly re-elected Álvaro Obregón, had to be eliminated. 3. The assassination of Álvaro Obregón, 1928. On July 17, 1928, José de León Toral infiltrated a banquet in Mexico City, celebrating President-elect Álvaro Obregón's victory. Pretending to be a caricaturist, Toral sketched Obregón before drawing a pistol and assassinating him. The government immediately cracked down on the underground Catholic network and arrested Madre Conchita, labeling her the intellectual mastermind behind the assassination. They accused her of using occult, hypnotic, and psychological influence over Toral to drive him to pull the trigger. 4. The sensation trial and prison sentence. To show the international community that Mexico was a stable, modern state with a legitimate justice system, the government held a highly publicized jury trial rather than an extrajudicial execution. The trial, the 1928 trial, was a massive media circus, broadcast live on the radio. Madre Conchita steadfastly maintained that while she opposed the government's tyranny, she never directly ordered the murder. The verdict: Toral was sentenced to death by firing squad. Madre Conchita was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Incarceration. She was sent to the notorious Islas Marias penal colony, an isolated island prison. Despite her harsh surroundings, her fame grew. To the state, she was a dangerous terrorist. To millions of Mexican Catholics, she was a living martyr. 5. Later, life and release. In a bizarre twist of fate while in prison, she met and married Carlos Castro Balda, a fellow prisoner jailed for a previous dynamic attempt on Obregón's life. By 1940, political winds in Mexico shifted. The new president, Manuel Avila Camacho, sought to heal the rift between the church and the state. Due to immense public pressure, Madre Conchita's sentence was commuted, and she was released. She spent her remaining decades writing her memoirs, giving interviews, and defending her legacy. She passed away in Mexico City in 1979 at the age of 87.
I hope you heard what a sister did. Only that she was against the movement, abusing the presidents that are seeking for official international recognition of Mexico. And look at what happened to them. Agudo, you can enter the link and tell us how you forgive her. But before that, I want to listen to our DPM's speech yesterday, because from there you will understand they never meant well. All of us have entered it. So I want you to look at it in this way. If you are the one. And I said, no country has become one for them to achieve recognition. After they issued their declaration, Namibia has 8 groups that was attacking SWAPO, that issued the peaceful declaration of a country called Namibia. I will close by playing those 8 groups and what happened in the movement of Namibia to you, so you will understand why US declared is the only option and why we must. There will be no forgiveness in our diary. In our diary, there is no longer forgiveness, because this forgiveness has destroyed many things. That is how I pleaded to forgive Chiamaka Ajere for the first time when he went to Idu. And what happened today? Look at him messing up today. So listen, Olewunne, to the movement of Namibia that got their independence from South Africa. After SWAPO declared it, 8 groups emerged. They're only attacking SWAPO, attacking the leadership of SWAPO. They don't do well. They don't do the other one. Listen to this, Olewunne. Which peace are you preaching? You think that this is church? We're talking about country, not about church.
Before the UN-supervised elections and the subsequent formal implementation of independence in March 1990, several distinct political alliances and parties existed in Namibia. Many of these organizations actively opposed SWAPO's vision for a centralized state or its designation as the sole legitimate representative of the Namibian people. Here are 8 organizations that were active or formed during that period, complete with their founding dates.
I'm hearing it.
1. Democratic Turnhall Alliance, DTA. Date founded November 5, 1977. Background. The DTA was the primary opposition alliance formed explicitly to counter SWAPO. It brought together numerous small, ethnically defined internal political parties and traditional leaders following the South African-sponsored Turnhall Constitutional Conference. It favored a multi-ethnic, federal system and property protections. 2. Southwest Africa National Union, SWANU. Date founded September 27, 1959. Background. SWANU was actually Namibia's very first national liberation movement. While it also opposed South African colonial rule, it grew to strongly oppose SWAPO's political dominance and monopoly on international recognition. In the lead-up to the 1989 elections, SWANU factions joined broader opposition fronts to challenge SWAPO electorally. 3. Action Christian National, ACN. Date founded 1989, registered specifically for the transition elections. Background. The ACN was an electoral front dominated primarily by the National Party of Southwest Africa, which originally formed back in July 1925. It served to represent conservative interests, particularly among the white minority population, and was deeply opposed to SWAPO's socialist economic platforms. 4. National Unity Democratic Organization, NUDO. Date founded September 25, 1964. Background. Founded by Chief Hosea Kutako and the Herero Chiefs Council, NUDO was created to advocate for the interests of the Herero people. Although it initially cooperated in anti-colonial frameworks, it strongly opposed SWAPO's centralized leadership and later became a prominent founding member of the anti-SWAPO Democratic Turnhall Alliance, DTA, in November 1977. 5. SWAPO Democrats, SWAPOD. Date founded June 10, 1978. Background. This party was formed in Sweden by Andreas Schipanga, a co-founder and prominent leader of SWAPO who broke away from the main movement. Schipanga and his followers accused SWAPO's top leadership of authoritarianism and human rights abuses in its exile camps. SWAPOD operated as an internal moderate opposition party in Namibia. 6. United Democratic Front, UDF. Date founded 1989, formed as an alliance for the independence elections. Background. The UDF was launched as a coalition of several smaller internal parties, including the Damara Council and the Christian Democratic Party. It positioned itself as a centrist alternative, opposing what it labeled as SWAPO's totalitarian and one-party tendencies, eventually winning 4 seats in the 1989 Constituent Assembly. 7. Republican Party, RP. Date founded October 5, 1977. Background. Founded by Dirk Mudge after he broke away from the hardline White National Party, the Republican Party was aimed at white moderates who favored a peaceful negotiated transition away from strict apartheid, but wanted to prevent a SWAPO-led unitary government. It immediately joined the DTA alliance 1 month later. 8. Federal Convention of Namibia, FCN. Date founded late 1988, early 1989. Background. The FCN was an ethnic and regionalist coalition consisting of several groups, including the Rehoboth Free Democratic Party. The FCN explicitly opposed SWAPO's unitary state design, strongly advocating instead for a federal system that would guarantee local autonomy for historic territories like Rehoboth.
I hope you had it, Olewunne, a country in Africa called Namibia, when they issued their declaration through a government in exile, that's the used organization name then, SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization. After the issue declaration, 8 organizations emerged. 1 was there, 7 emerged, and these 8 are attacking only one. The way all of you today is attacking USV declared. The history is repeating. You can never be one to achieve Biafra as a country. Even in Biafra, some things is going to be happening. So that is why I want all Biafrans to know that Olewunne with her peace cannot give what she never had. Olewunne, you don't have peace within yourself. So there's no way you can give peace. It's just hatred, envy is what is piloting you. That is one thing I want our Biafrans to understand this evening. So please, I urge you to remember that Monday sit at home. Please sit at home on Monday. The world say that our sit at home is our powerful self-referendum. Remember that Obato Obie court case is coming. If you can travel to protest and be solidated with Obato Obie, go to France, stand with him to prove to people of Finland that he's not inciting, rather we are the one that inciting him. Endeavor to do that. Only 8th group of Namibia never stop the recognition of Namibia as a country in due time through that particular one that issued that peaceful declaration of Namibia. We have gotten it right, my people. After the Biafran War, this is the only first time we, as people of Biafra, has gotten it right. We lost our Christian country. We only want the world to know that because of we lost this our Christian country, we calling on the world like Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela to recognize your fellow country, your fellow Christian country, that we end the impunity and the ongoing genocide that's happening in Nigeria. Do not do color versus recognition. Grant recognition so we can be able to end the massacre, the genocide that is going on. It is very important that we all know after the Biafran War, we got it right from November the 20th, 1924. That is the only time that we've gotten it right. So we have to endure for us to get recognition, or we're asking the world. That is the second time. This is not the first one. This is the second. So the second is supposed to waste any time. We want official recognition so we can stop the massacre, the genocide that has been Nigerian government is connecting with their people of the ICC, La Coroa, and all the killers in Nigeria that made Nigeria name to become a country of death sentence to every indigenous people. If you're Nigerian, something will happen to you. And if you're against this, we are declared, may Nigeria happen to you and your family. Say amen to that. May Nigeria happen to you. So my people, we're going to end it here until come back again tomorrow because of my job. So please, bear with me. Once again, remember, Obato Obie court is coming. If you happen to be chance to be in Finland to support Obato Obie. Be in Finland to do what to support Obato Obie. Mondays at home, please, those in the Biafra homeland, the remains at home, self-referendum that the world already said you have passed. Do not panic, do not move. Until we see again tomorrow, please share and like the program. Please. From me, from here, it is a goodbye for now. Have a wonderful night or wonderful morning or day anywhere you are in this world. Thank you so much, my people. John, you come late. Oboni and Joke, I see you. Alex, I see you. This Arola is from all the way from Israel, because that is where I see such a name, Tel Aviv. I think so. Agudo, what we are doing is for her to forgive herself and put herself where she belongs. Not, my own is to tell her, look at the history you are repeating, in case tomorrow, if the government decides to judge you with your action, and they will use all this measure. They will use all these measures to measure what she's doing. So if you know her, tell her to stop her lies and deceive. Stop repeating the history of those who never allowed the people to. That's why I said, call the history of what this country sent to our sister. Olewunne to stop